Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just hop on a real quick, and just talk to you guys just for a little bit. Just wanted to psych myself up. It was like this should be no problem to do, and just wanted to hop on here and kind of be there for you guys. I know it's kind of late here. Sorry. Everyone that knows me, I'm kind of emotional sometimes. I'm a crier. But anyways, I wanted to just hop on here and talk with you guys because you've been all really supportive, and I just came on here to say two things. Just say two things, and just how much I appreciate the support. There are people out there that are hurting worse than me, and they need our support. They're struggling, or they're powering through it, but they need our support, and you guys are doing great. So just love the love and love the community, that Jason created, and it's beautiful. It's a very strong, beautiful thing, and very thankful to be a part of it and contribute to it. And I grew up a fan like all you did, and they say never meet your idols, but that wasn't the case with Jason. It was great, and over time we became family and did so many wonderful things together. So I'm just I come on here very appreciative of that time and experience with him, 10 years creating all those projects together and putting them out there for you guys to enjoy them. And it's something that when we created them, it's something that he wanted them to be perfect, and so did we. And it's just at the time we thought we were just creating cool stuff, and now looking back on it and seeing how it's grown, it's just very thankful. I'm kind of rambling here, I'm sorry. And just thankful all to you guys on everything. It's like it's beautiful and kind of hard to read a lot of the comments and seeing the love and seeing everyone talk about him. And that's he had so much love in his heart and so much passion. So passionate. After 18-hour days, he was ready to keep filming and let's go. And it's hard after 18 hours to have that energy, and he had it. I wish you all could experience him that way. And so just very blessed. So I just wanted to say thank you. And two, it's very important that, cause, I've lost, two people in my family this way this past year. And it's just very important to everyone out there, to normalize, it's okay if you need help. Even superheroes, they need help. And it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to accept help. And it doesn't make you Doesn't make you weak to ask for help or to accept help. And no one is judging you. No one should judge you. You know, and to value those people in your life and yourself, and that, you know, people are going through things, and to not judge them. It's so important to, I think, to be okay to be vulnerable with people. You know, we go around and we ask, hey, how you doing? And people go, I'm fine. And I think that does a disservice to us, because it's just, we write it off. We write off asking how people are, and we write off telling them how we are. You know, and that shouldn't be a thing. You know, you should really want to know how someone is. And you should really tell them. It should be okay to be vulnerable with people. You know, so if you need help, please say something. Please ask. You know, you try to carry everything on your shoulders, and you try to be there for everyone, and you try to be, you know, superhero for everyone, and it's amazing. It's amazing, you know. But if you need help, it's okay. It's okay, you know. And you should, you know, if you have thoughts like that, you should definitely talk to someone, because you're loved. Just know that you are loved. You are loved so much, you don't even know. You know? You're so loved. And that's it. Just know that you're loved. And it's okay to ask for help. And that I appreciate all of you. Everyone that's reached out, fans and friends. Everyone's been really, really nice. And that's emotional too, you know. So that's it, you know. I appreciate you all. I really do. And that's it, you know. I don't know what else to say. I'd be rambling if I did. So that was it. But it, you know, Jason was amazing. I worked on, I don't want this to be all sad, I want this to be happy. You know, I worked with him on so many projects. You know, I'll tell a story of how I met Jason. And he saw Wolverine and Predator. He saw that, and he loved it. I reached out to him. I had some mutual friends reach out to him, and I showed him that, and he loved it. And I said we should work on something together. And then he's like, well, come by anytime, we can talk. And I was like, well, I live in LA and you live in Texas. And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, well, how about this week and I'll fly down. He was like, all right. So my first time meeting Jason was at the airport, him picking me up from the airport. And he, you know, I was gonna get a hotel, and he was like, there's no need for that, you can just stay at my place. And you know, he was very welcoming, and genuine. He didn't, it was just really nice. And we ended up I stayed at his place, I went grocery shopping together, and just hung out there for 2 days. Like, it's kind of like saying it out loud. It's kind of strange, because you think when you meet someone, you meet him at a convention, or you meet him out. But the first time I met him was him, and invited me into his house and to talk projects, and and he was just really, really kind. I never thought about it, but that's a great story to show you how welcoming and how nice he really was. And from there, we did White Ranger versus Scorpion. We did 3 seasons of My Morphin Life, Green Ranger versus Ryu. We did a waiting room together. Jason was very funny, great at improv. And then we did, I think we then did Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe. He was Bloodshot in that. Then we did Power Rangers versus Street Fighter, the video game, officially with Saban. And then that's where they took the Green Ranger design that we came up with, and they put it in the game, and then in the comic books, so it's canon, and we did Taz Caden. That was a little before. And then we did, he did the voice for, in Dragon Zord vs. Godzilla. That was an animated one. Not a lot of people saw that one because that was during COVID. So we did like an animated one, and he did that. And then we did the first video for Legend of the White Dragon. And that Kickstarter didn't, go through, but, Jason was resilient and we wanted to do it again. And then we launched it, and we hit our goal and surpassed our goal, which is amazing. And, so I don't know if I'm forgetting any. You guys might know if I've forgotten some. But, there's a lot of great stories to share. I have so many stories to share, and I want to share them with you because you guys get to know him, because I grew up a huge fan of Power Rangers. I saw the movie in theaters, and I got in trouble at school. This is kind of a funny story. My friend April, who I've known for 35 years, I met her I've known her for 32 years, and I met her in preschool. But when Power Rangers came out, we used to go around and I was the Green Ranger and she was the Yellow Ranger, and we'd go around and like fight off bad guys at school as Power Rangers. And because so we were really, really, really big fans. And growing up, and after just kind of loving the Power Rangers, getting to be friends with him, and then like becoming family. And I know a lot of you are big fans, and you'd probably like to know what that experience is like. And I would love to tell it to you. Another kind of amazing story, just to kind of add on to that, because I brought up my friend April, is that when I got to direct and create Power Rangers for Street Fighter for the video game, April's she's now my age, but she's in great shape. She's a fitness trainer, and we have that big scene at the end. I don't know if you guys have seen Power Rangers for Street Fighter, but if you haven't, please check it out. There's this end scene where all the Rangers kind of appear, and Bison makes them appear, Kevin Porter, and you see all these different Rangers appear. And they gave us the suits. That's a whole story in itself. I have so many stories that I could talk about all these projects. But anyways, they gave us all the original suits from the show, and I had them in my living room. I thought they were going to send them in like a box, like a regular like 2-3 boxes, but they're shipped. They were shipped individually, so I had like 30 boxes like in my living room because I didn't make room at the studio. Anyways, one of the characters was the original Yellow Ranger that Trini wore, and I had to cast someone to just wear the suit. So I called up my friend April, and I was like, "Do you want to be the Yellow Ranger in this official video?" And she did, and it was really cool. There's a video of me saying how amazing it was, and then I got a photo of Jason, who was so nice, you know, and you know, because he was on set as the Green Ranger, and I got a photo of her and him in suits together, and it's like just, you know, making all these childhood dreams come through, you know, and Jason was such a big supporter, and on that set, you know, Peter Jang and Ciara will tell you how fun that was. But I should hop on here more and tell you guys about wonderful stories that we've had from set with Jason. I have so many to tell you, to just know how you know, how great Jason, I hate saying things past tense, how great Jason is, you know, his legacy and his presence is felt, and that's not going away. So, you know, I don't want to, it's not a thing of the past, it's present, you know, it'll be felt forever. But, you know, he was great, and a lot of fun, and a badass fighter, man. I tell you, he was so badass. I'll tell you one more story, then I'll go, because I feel like I'm rambling and just, I don't know. But on Legend of the White Dragon, I'll tell you 2 stories from Legend of the White Dragon. There's a scene where my character Jai Katua is doing like a lot of stuff with a katana, a sword, and it's doing these moves, because my character essentially is training to fight the White Dragon, and Jason wasn't in this scene. You know, he was not in the scene. It was just me, and I'm doing all these sword katas, and you know, I have a stunt background. I've been on a lot of different things. Was Spider-Man in the Andrew Garfield games with the motion capture, and so I'm not bad. I'm not bad. But I would do, you know, I would do these cool moves, and Jason was there, and he would come in, and there's great video. I made sure to tell the camera, and I was like, roll this. This is Jason and me. And you have the whole set there. You know, my dad, Ben Dukes, everyone's there from set. And Jason's just showing me all these cool moves and how, like, their point, you know, and he's like, this gets the vein on the leg so you bleed to death. And he's like, that's for the throat, and that's for all these things. And it was like, and he moved with such power. Like, I would watch and I would be like, I'm pretty good. And then I would watch Jason, and I was like, oh boy, I don't know how good I am. But his skill was incredible. Whoop. There we go. His skill was incredible, and it was amazing to be trained by him, you know. And I have a lot of great video, and I'll post that as well. Another fun story to tell you about that I think you guys will enjoy. I thought I'd come on here and tell you these stories and it'll be fine, but I was like, I won't be emotional. It shouldn't be a problem. But another great story is there's a scene, spoilers. My character is fighting Jason's character. Chai Katu is fighting Eric Reed, and we're using a real chain. And because Jason wanted everything to be authentic and real, which I'm for with. And what's kind of interesting is the chain that we use in the scene is the chain that was used in Dying Is Easy, where I was Joker being choked. And so that chain's very. And Jason, I think he kept that chain, or he kept a part of it. But I was choking him. There's a scene in the fight choreography where I'm choking him, and Jason was so he wanted to feel it. He was so visceral, and he was so badass. He was such a great stunt fighter that it was amazing to actually do like a whole fight scene with him, and you know, kind of mix it up. And he was so good. He moved with such ferocity and such intensity that it was like a little. It wasn't scary because he didn't hit me or anything like that. He was great. He was on point. But it was just like, you know, when you see Jason David Frank just being like, wow, throwing these moves at you, you're just like, oh man. You know, you're like half geeking out and half like, oh, I hope I don't die. You know? But anyways, there's a scene where I kind of best him, and I get behind him and I'm choking him, you know, and he's showing me the right way to choke someone correctly with the chain, you know, because he was so. I'd always ask him, I was like, am I doing this right? Because I was like, I think I am, but you know. And he's like, no, this is the best way. If you really want to choke someone out, he goes and like drop him, you know. He's like, this is how you do it. And I was like, okay. I go, but that's real though, and this is a real chain, you know. And he's like, that's fine. It's fine. That's what we want. We want it to look real. I was like, okay. Oh, you just showed me how to use this real chain to really kill someone. He's like, I'll be fine. And I was like, and you know what's funny? I believed him. I was like, he's such a badass. You know, I believed him, and I was like, all right, I'm sure he'll be fine. And then he's like, because if it hurt too much, he's like, I could just throw you off me. And I was like, that's also true. So I was like, you're fine. I'm not worried about it. And this is after like a long day of shooting, so we're all kind of tired, and I'm behind and choking, and like by the 8th take or something like that, I'm like, well, you know, going at it, because he has lines he has to deliver in that moment, and it's very, very like, they're really intense lines, and he wants to deliver them really intense, you know, because that was the whole point of doing Legend of the White Dragon, is he wants to be real and he wants it to feel intense. And after the 8th take, and I'm going hard, he goes, Aaron, I need you to choke me harder. And I just kind of leaned in and I go, Jason, that's all I got, man. I don't think I can choke you any harder. That's like me at 100%. And that just goes to show that like Jason was so committed and so into it, and also just such a real life badass. Such a badass. I'll tell you another story and then I'll go. Okay, so it's from if you don't know, when you fight, your bones like become kind of calcified in a way where they're like really strong and kind of sharp, like right here. And when I was doing that fight with Jason, you know, you're blocking your sort of stuff, and he would block, boom, like that, you know, and my arm would hit here. And I've done a lot of fight scenes with, you know, on Batinthesun and outside of Batinthesun. You know, I fought John Morrison, fought Kevin Porter. I don't remember all the different people, amazing people that I've had a chance to work with and fight with. But after just like 5 or 10 minutes, I was like, oh my God, I was like, my forearms, they hurt so bad. I was like, why do my forearms hurt so bad? And I was like, what? It kind of caught up with me because I'm directing and I'm in the fight and I'm watching the footage back and I'm like, this looks good. The fight, yeah, it's reading. Boom, we're going at it, you know, because you kind of have to, in a fight, you have to go like 60, 70%, you know, and and Jason's into it. So I was like, you're really going for it. But then like after like 10 minutes, I was like, why do my forearms hurt so bad? Like they hurt. And then Jason, he kind of was like smiling as he did a lot. He'd kind of like look over. And I was like, is that like what, you know, like, what is that? What do you know that I don't know? And then, and he's like, like that, and I was like, I don't. So he had me feel his forearms, like the muscle, like you have your forearm muscle and this bone right here, and I was shocked. I was so shocked, and anyone that was on set knows this to be true. And if you're watching, and you were on set, I made everyone do this, but I felt his forearms. I don't know why I get emotional about this. It's silly, but felt his forearms and his bones, and they were like cement, like sharp cement, like a warrior really would be, not like a fake Hollywood, actor who does a little bit of fighting. Not like me. Like I'm like I have normal person forearms. They were like just sharp cement. They were just like intense, and I was like shocked. I was like, how is this a thing? And then I was like, hold on, before we film, because then I was like, I was like, no, my arms hurt because Jason's a machine. I was like, it's not me. And I stopped production, and I was like, everyone's got to get in line and feel Jason's forearms. I was like, Eric's watching, and so is Alfred. I said, get in line and feel his forearms. And it was crazy. It was like, he was just such the real deal, he was the real deal, And I told him after that, I was like, you gotta block me different. You can't block me with your forearms. It hurts too much. We have a whole 2 days of fighting to get through. I go, you'll destroy my arms. So if you watch, and this is, he stops blocking me with his forearms. Like instead of like this, where like he's coming down and boom blocking, he blocks with his hand, like that. He blocks this, and because it just helped my arms because it hurt so much. Alfred, our fight coordinator, is watching, and Eric, our cinematographer, is watching, and they can confirm this was true. He was just the real deal in every sense of the word. So, I just want to come on here and just share some stories with you. What's up, man? What's up, everyone watching? He was just a real incredible person, and he was great. Are you guys enjoying these stories? Am I? See, even Ben can confirm this, and Ben's a big dude. Ben played college football. Ben's a badass. Ben is super badass, and just a big thanks to everyone on the film that's watching. Ben and Alfred and Rachel's watching, and Eric, Riddler, just Jason was the real deal, and it's just, I wish you all knew him the way that I knew him. Okay, I'll tell you another story. I have like so many, it's like ridiculous. Let me plug my phone in here because it's. What if I turn this upside down? Will this work if this is upside down? Let me see. Do you go upside down? I'm upside down now, aren't I? Great. All right, let me see. My phone will now not. I have to. It's like kind of like propped in. Let's see. Let's save it stays. Charging. Okay. I was talking about the fighting in the film. And which Jason was great at. Super badass. Super badass. He was showing all the stunt guys how to do like crazy moves. He's such a badass. But what Jason was really focused on in the film that mattered so much to him was the acting. And he wanted to prove how great he was as an actor. And that was like what was important to him, and that's why he wasn't going back to Power Rangers. I remember he told me when Power Rangers for the 30th anniversary approached him, and he didn't want to go back because, when you're on that show, they ask you to act kind of, it's a kids show, so they ask you to act like it's a kids show, and and he wanted to really prove himself as an actor, and because he knew he was great, and he was tired of people just saying, you're like, a kid show actor. And when we got Michael Madsen on set, Michael Madsen, great Michael Madsen. I knew Michael because he was on Dying is Easy as Harvey Bullock, and Jason reached out when he watched the movie. He watched Dying is Easy, called me, and he's like, "You got Michael Madsen?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And I was like, I thought I did. He's like, Michael Madsen's my favorite actor. He goes, "I love Michael Madsen." He goes, him and Reservoir Dogs and Donnie Brasco. He goes, "Those are my favorite scenes." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that, Jason." So he's like, so when we're putting together White Dragon, and there's a scene, a really powerful scene where Eric Reed talks to his dad, and we're like, Michael Madsen should be his dad. So eventually, and through the help of our producer Chris and Ben, who put it all together, we had this scene going where they're in a kind of like a jail talking through the glass, and it's intense. That day was intense. I remember the studio that we shot at. I was kind of like, "Oh, here's Jason and Michael. It's really cool." They're really excited. Like Jason was very kind of nervous because that was his acting idol, and you got to act with him, and both actors are kind of method. They would really get into it, and it was one of those things where I was like, instead of shooting in film, what you do is you shoot your coverage on one side, but the camera's this way looking at one actor, and then it's on the other side looking the other way at the other actor. But we could see that both of them were really into it, and they were really into the moment. And I was like, we need to do, and I told Eric, I was like, we need to change the camera setup. We need to roll cameras on both of them at the same time, which is kind of tricky sometimes because you're limited as the angles you can get, because otherwise you'd see the cameras in the shot. So cameras were both over the shoulder, and we're like, let's run the scene. And usually when you're on set, they're long days. They're long days. 12, 14-hour days, sometimes longer. I've been on set on this film and many films for 18-hour days. But we filmed them, they were sitting down, they kind of you get all the peripherals. And they sat down and they ran this scene. They ran it once, and it was really good, but Jason they were trying to find it. And they both, it was still kind of awkward because it's a really emotional scene, and they're really diving into their own emotional psyche, and both of them haven't had easy lives, and they were reflecting on that, and they were bringing that up, and they ran it a second time, and it was more intense, and it was like, wow. I was like, that was really good, and it was intense because they were getting intense, and they're breaking down, and they were crying, and they were like, that's it. I think, they're like, oh, that was great. And I was like, it's great. And I was like, I think we could run it one more time. And people, a lot of times on set, people would look at me like, Aaron, why are we? I end up pushing people to ask for craziness. Ben, our producer, will tell you that more so than anyone. Ben all the time looks at me like, ugh, why are we doing that? But it's a playful look because he knows he's great and he makes everything happen. It's a good point, Dirk. I should make a documentary on Jason because I probably have more footage on hard drives of Jason than anyone. But to go back to the story here, we did it one more time, a third take. We did a third take of this with Jason and Michael Madsen, and at the end of it, the two of them they break down, and they're crying in the scene because it's emotional, it's so intense. And at the end of it, Michael and Jason, they get up, and it's you can see the whole, everything's like, it was just, it was really, really, really intense. And Michael and Jason are both like, we can't do it again. We can't do that again. Because they went to such a dark place to act that scene out. And it was really incredible, like, to watch. You know, it's when as a director, when you watch it on set, to see like, wow, that was a really good performance, and they ran the scene just straight through, you know, and they kind of improv the lines a little bit, and they feel it, and that was it. And we were wrapped for the day. Like, it was just, it was so powerful, and Jason and Michael embraced after it, and Jason was so, he felt just so, I guess, accomplished. He felt like that's what he'd wanted to do for so long, to show off how great his acting ability was. And we all saw it. We all knew it. It was definitely like, wow, you know, it was, I can't, you know, when you all see it, it's, you know, just the sad thing, and I'll end with this, you know, is, you know, everyone will, you know, be talking about how great of an actor he is, and, the one person that wants to hear it the most won't be able to hear it. You know, and that's just, and the thing of it is I've known Jason for a long time, and when he did that scene, I was thinking to myself, I was like, because I've known Jason wanted to do this all the time. You know, he's won at this moment. And when I watched it, I thought to myself, you know, he's got it. He's got that moment, that scene that everyone's going to be like, Jason, you're a great actor. And I knew in that scene that he had it. And I knew I couldn't wait to look forward to people watching that scene and telling him, you know, for him to get that kind of that monkey off his back, and to be respected as an actor, the actor that I knew him as, and now everyone would be like, you know, I'm just trying to tell you that Jason was even greater than what you guys might think. And I know you think he's great, but I saw these moments that no one else saw. And, I just wish that he deserved to experience them and watch them and see all you guys talk about how great he is. Because Jason gave 150% all the time. All the time. On set, at conventions. He was intense, don't get me wrong. He was intense. He was an intense guy. That's because he had so much passion. You know, he did. And I just, I wish that you all could know him the way that I knew him. Because I was lucky enough to call him, you know, a friend at first, and then a colleague, and then, you know, family. You know, because you kind of get past, I don't really get starstruck. You know, I think we're all people. We're all equal. I get kind of awkward when I run into when I run into fans out in the public and they ask for like my autograph and want to talk to me. I feel kind of like awkward because I'm always like, we're all just the same. You know, like I'm not, you know, we're just cooler in different ways, you know, but they all add up to the same. And so when I met Jason, I was like, wow, you're like, you know, I have all your action figures and all this sort of stuff. And I try not to let on like how much of a big fan I was. But getting to know him and being able to call him family over time is like, he was as great and as nice as you guys all would think. So when you, like, because you hear about some celebrities not being, when you don't want to meet them, they're kind of, and I've met those celebrities, having worked with people, I've met them. But Jason was, he was so nice and so, just warm. I think of all the times we went out to Blaze Pizza, or he stayed over at my place, and I bought him this. So silly. I knew he was gonna stay over at my place one time. I figured out this happened. I'll show you this pillow. I'm not home right now, but I'll show you this pillow. But I was out. I think I was at Target, and Jason messaged me, and he was like, "Hey, I need to crash at your place tonight," or something. Like, you need to stay at my place for some reason. I don't remember what the reason was, but I was like, "That's fine. You can stay over." But what I did though is that I was at Target, and they had a Power Rangers pillow, like this little square pillow, and I bought that, and then I put it on the bed when he came over and slept, and he slept on the Power Ranger pillow, which I still have. It's in my room, which is just kind of a silly thing. He joked about it. I have photos of this Power Ranger pillow. But just really used like real, he was just real cool and down to earth. Intense. Boy, I don't know as many people as intense as Jason. But I have a lot of great stories like that. I tell that story like it's present. And it's just, I tell that story like, oh, they have all these fun stories, and I can't wait to have more of them. And that's all right. Anyways, make sure to tell the people in your life. It's kind of silly, but tell the people in your life you love them, obviously. Don't wait. Last time I saw Jason was at Power Morphicon. I talked to him every week since then, but I saw him at Power Morphicon, and there's a nice photo. It's the last photo of him and me ever taken together, us holding our helmets from White Dragon. And, I knew... I just know that it's important to tell people that you love them. And I knew Jason needed to hear that. I hugged him. There's video of this somewhere, I'm sure, because there's a ton of cameras that day. And I just told him, sometimes you'll say goodbye. I love you, man. Which is nice. We should really normalize saying I love you and mean it. Know what it means to love someone. That means being there for them, and that means accepting them for whatever is going on in their life. Even if you've been bad and are trying to be good, I'm not going to be the person to give up on you. If you're trying to be a good person, not that Jason was great. I'm not saying him, but don't give up on people that are trying. If you've conceded to being a bad person, then you should probably keep your distance away from those toxic people. But if you're trying to be good, I'm not going to be the person to give up on you. But I told Jason, I looked at him, and very clearly, and it's kind of an amazing thing when you can tell someone you love them and you mean it, and you mean it, because love is an amazing emotion. I think that's why we're here as people, to exist, to create a web of love, to tell people. And I looked at him and I told him, I said, I love you. I said, I love you too, man. That was the last time I ever saw him, you know. So, anyways, just want to come on here and say all that, but kind of rambling there, kind of going on. But I thought hopefully this was good for you guys, you know, as a way to connect and feel connected. And you know, I saw everyone being sad, and I wanted everyone to feel, you know, all of that. So, you know, I try to run my set that way. Everyone, it was really beautiful. Anyone that's watching that's part of Batinthesun, it was really touching for me for everyone to just say, and what they say is that our sets are always very family oriented and very loving. There is no egos between people. You know, like you go to some sets and it's cold, and the director doesn't know the PA's names, and they don't want to be talked to or whatever. But, you know, everything on my set, because me and my dad, obviously, you know, we direct and work together, and I think that energy stems down. And then Ben, our producer, I've known for 20 years. Ben is family. And it's like this, when you respect and you love everyone on set, you just treat everyone different. And I see Alfred is on here, and he had a great story about how, you know, the set of White Dragon felt like family, and I love hearing that, because it's important. Nicole is on here. I've known Nicole for 25 years, and you know, everyone on set, you know, you gotta love them, because then you want to do right by them. And Batinthesun has always been like that, and like before Jason, it was like that. But the reason why I say this is because we'll have some celebrities on set, and they won't conform to that. And when Jason came on set all 10 years ago, he fit right in. His energy and his family, you know, fit right in with everyone. You know, he like didn't miss a beat, and he championed it, and he spoke about it, you know, and that just shows you what kind of person he was. And I'm gonna miss him forever, as we all are, you know. So anyways, I just want to hop on here and share that with you, and we need to normalize loving people and accepting and asking if they're okay, and accepting help and all that kind of stuff. Be vulnerable and allow someone to be vulnerable with you. The greatest gift someone can give you is being vulnerable. And that is to be, it's like their heart of glass, you know. If someone gives that to you, you would hold on to it and you would protect it. Don't judge people like that, you know. You don't know what people are going through, and you know, you just accept people and all that sort of stuff. I'm rambling now. I think I've said all this, but I just want to tell you some of that stuff. I'll try to hop on here again if you guys like this. This is the most emotional video I've ever recorded in my entire life. I have over, I don't know, 1.5 billion views online, and this is by far and away the most emotional that I've ever been on a video. But it just was important for me to try to match the love that you all are showing, and for Jason, because he was that great. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I appreciate you all so much. I love all of you. You've made this journey amazing. And whatever projects we do will always have a message, because I feel like entertainment should have that kind of message to instill positivity. That's why I love superheroes. That's why Jason loved being the Green Ranger. It's not just about action. It's about instilling morals and making you want to be. I want you to leave our films and think, I want to be a better person. I'm going to be a better person, you know, because when I watch Christopher Reeve as Superman, which I do often, I watch that and it kind of like recalibrates me, and I think I gotta be even better. I can be better, you know. And oh man, so with everything we do, we will always do that, and appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you to everyone, and thank you to the Batinthesun family. I've enjoyed reading all your messages. Everyone's been really nice and checking up on me, which is really sweet. I'm kind of sad a little bit, just because it just is a reminder of what's going on, and you know, and just seeing the impact that we had on each other. You know, you kind of like forget that. Like even I you know, it's kind of like weird because I go on there and I tell you guys like that you should do this, but like I have to normalize that in my life because, you know, I went on Jason's Instagram last night and it like destroyed me because, you know, it's like, you know, like every other post from like his touring and, you know, all the films we worked on together, he's you know, he's in the White Dragon suit, or he's in our Green Ranger suit, or he's wearing the Batinthesun t-shirt, and it's just like, we just see how much of an impact we had on each other, you know. And it's like, you're just realizing what a big piece that you're losing, you know. So it's like, not only value other people, but value how much they value you, you know. Like, you should value yourself, you know. Value yourself. Value other people, you know. We're only here for a short time, and you gotta, you know, love people. Love them. You know, so... anyways. Appreciate you all for watching. I've been trying to keep up with who's been watching. I wonder if I can go through and scroll through and see who was watching. I see you guys texting me too. But anyways, guys, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll hop on her again. Maybe I can hop on her with one of the castmates or crew. Or I saw CR hop on her, and Garrett and Eric and Alfred and Ben, and maybe we can FaceTime and we can talk about stories if you guys like that. So just appreciate you guys. Yeah, love is all you need. 4 great men said that. So I have a fun video of my dad and Jason at the piano. Jason sitting next to my dad, and my dad's, I think, he goes from playing one of his originals to playing some Beatles, and Jason is hitting this one note, which is kind of funny. On the post I did with all the photos, and I have 1,000 photos of us and Jason, but there's a photo of Jason and my dad sitting at the piano, and that is a still from a video, and you can watch it. There's a video for that, and it's pretty funny. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to do this, and I appreciate you all so much. And let's just you know, value and love each other, you know. Appreciate you guys.